internet initially UCC said they had switched off, probably for security reasons. But then the latest I'm getting from my friends in Mombasa, a ship was passing by, it hit an internet cable into two. So they are trying to locate the other piece to connect it.
Honorable, Hello, my viewers, and thank you for joining us today. This is Sam TV News KE, and those who have not subscribed, kindly take your 1 minute and subscribe to be able to join this family. So today we are going to talk about the issues, especially underlying behind the elections that have been conducted in Uganda. And before we get into the results, we need to look at a few things that have stood out before and after the elections. It is clear that the elections of Uganda have become one of the most tense and controversial electoral moments in the country's recent history, whereby it has involved internet blackouts, allegations of fraud, violence, and dramatic shutdown of the Uganda's long-serving president and a popular opposition challenger. My viewer, in the next few minutes, you're going to sit down with me so that I walk you through what has happened and what is happening right now and what it could mean to Uganda's future. It is on record that on 15th of January 2026, the country of Uganda held its general elections, and at the center of these elections was President Yoweri Museveni, who happens to be 81 years of age, and is seeking his 7th term. He has ruled the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth, sixth, and now is seeking the 7th term. And his main contestant, who happens to be Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu, also known as Bobi Wine, is a former pop star and a leader of the National Unity Platform. And he has gained a lot of youth support in the few days that he has been campaigning. Now, before the elections began, it was wide and clear that the country of Uganda shut down the internet nationwide. And it's a move that the government said justified that the government uses as a way of preventing misinformation in and outside of Uganda. But the fun part is, when one of the ministers was being questioned who is responsible, he said that he has been informed that a cable of internet that is underlying in the coastal region of Kenya was cut by a ferry that was passing around, and still they are trying to look for the other part of the cable to join it together. These are politics. These are politics that we have seen from Tanzania, politics that we have seen that leaders of East Africa try to cover things that needs to be exposed to the world by saying that the internet has been affected by the cables. Why would it wait until the last minute when it is the election period? That is when the country feels like now people are getting misinformed. People are going to get wrong information. The cable, all of a sudden, it's being cut. These are dirty politics that we are talking about. And as usual, the human rights activists and international organizations that stand for human rights and monitors election, it criticized the government for limiting transparency and restricting the free flow of information during the most crucial parts or days of the election period. And it could be clear. It's either the government is aiming at doing dirty work, the government is aiming at stealing the votes, or the government wants to disrupt the security forces or the security of the opposition leaders. Another thing, my viewers, that made me raise questions is the delays and the logistical challenges that were faced during the elections. Yoweri Museveni had said that using the manual verification for the election will see how the oppositions want to steal the elections. Something I'm trying still to understand, because from what I know is that Yoweri Museveni has taken control of the armed forces, whereby his son is in charge. He has also put some relatives in very important, crucial positions in the government that are foreseeing the elections period. We also saw the one who is in charge of commissioning the elections clearly saying that he cannot announce the results of the opposition leader winning the elections because he fears assassination might follow him. And how is it possible that now the sitting president, who has been in power for the past 6 terms, is coming in public and saying the oppositions want to steal elections and that he needs them to have the electronic system for them to see fairness in the elections? Now, after insisting that they use the electronic part, the preliminary results clearly have been showing President Yoweri Museveni being at the forefront with 75 to 76% of the votes based on the tallies that have come from the polling stations, whereby Bobi Wine is trailing behind with 20%. Now, a very important question that is coming out is that there are parts whereby Bobi Wine had power, had say, had support that have been announced publicly that Bobi Wine is having 0 votes. Something that is raising questions. There is also tension of Bobi Wine accusing the military forces of abducting him from his own home, a claim which the Ugandan military army have denied. It has been clear from the videos we have seen that the police forces were there man-guarding the compound. They broke the electricity and they jumped into the compound. They have seen local politicians reporting violence. People have been killed. We have seen clashes with the security forces immediately after the election. Protests have begun from the capital and the regional areas, which reports of arrests and several demonstrations being killed or others have been detained. Something that we have seen is that the government was trying to restrict Bobi Wine from being on the elections. Why? Because we saw the armed forces using power during his campaigns. Everybody saw that on the videos. And it is clear that there is massive ballot stuffing and fraud that is being organized by the government to ensure that Yoweri Museveni wins the elections. Yes, the police, yes, the system, he is in control of the Electoral Commission, and now he goes to an extent of arresting, detaining the opposition leaders who are against him. Why would he control and manipulate results and then be inhuman to the opposition? This is a question that we are seeing in East Africa, a challenge that we have faced in the elections that have been conducted in Uganda, elections that have been conducted in Tanzania, elections that we are waiting for in Kenya. We expect to see a change in the oncoming elections. There is a sickness in East Africa. There is sickness in countries in Africa. That's why we are coming out and saying, young people, we got to stand for our rights. Leaders, you need to trust people to vote for you. There's no need to tense. There's no need to control yourself, to take control of the Electoral Commission and expect people to exercise their freedom of electing leaders they want, whereas on the other side, you are controlling the elections. Thank you for following us. Thank you for being with this family. Thank you for watching. And those who have come here for the first time, kindly take your 5 minutes, for your 1 second. Press on the subscription button so that you can be able to follow on the updates that we are giving you across East